Snapshot 25w46a is out with a Nautilus inventory screen and other tweaks to the new features of the Mount of Mayhem drop. My name is Sliced Lime and this is a showcase of all the changes. Let's start with a few fixes to the spear in this version. You no longer deal damage with the spear when in spectator mode. You can no longer both jab and charge attack at once with a spear, and charge attacks no longer have reduced damage after a jab. Charging with a spear while holding a loaded crossbow in your offhand no longer looks cursed. Mobs that hold a spear no longer sometimes clip their arms through their bodies, and players no longer clip their arms through their bodies while holding a spear and riding a boat. Using a spear to start a charge attack no longer triggers item use vibrations. Updates to the netherite horse armor as well. The texture is now the same as that on Bedrock Edition. And it no longer burns in lava. In mob news, the zombie piglin that spawns from a pig being struck by lightning now has a chance to carry a golden spear. Skeletons now once again know how to use their arms to shoot a bow. And drowned are now once again slowed down by water. Parched are now immune to the weakness effect. The model of Parched now has its textures properly aligned, and the mouth of a Nautilus is now also correctly aligned. Buckets of fish now heal Nautili as much as a regular fish item. Nautili and zombie Nautili now make a dash sound when they make their dash attack. And the Nautilus and the zombie Nautilus now have an inventory UI much like horses. Zombie horses now have an eating sound. Ridden mobs no longer panic when hit if they have another mob riding them. And camel husks no longer show breeding hearts when you feed them. In gameplay news, attacks that are both sprinting and crits now only play the critical hit sound rather than both. Visual news in this version include a lot of fixes for translucency depth issues. Block breaking particles and block outlines now render properly behind glass blocks. With improved transparency turned on, particles, clouds, water and more no longer renders in front of block hitboxes. Hitboxes of submerged entities now render when looking at them from above the surface. Transparent and translucent blocks no longer render in front of fishing lines. And the charging animation of bows, crossbows and tridents is now correct. Some user interface news as well. You can now double-click on regions in the Realm Select Region menu to select them. The Show Music Toast option is now just Music Toast and can be set to 3 values, not at all, only in the menu or also when a new track starts playing. Spawn eggs in the creative inventory are now organized into groups by their categories, with all of the overworld mobs first organized into subgroups, followed by nether mobs and finally end mobs. The new waxed copper block recipes are now grouped like previous ones. The day counter is now once again available in the debug overlay. Using the game mode switcher now works properly if you have the debug modifier keybind set to a mouse button. The mouse cursor now changes to the right shape over a number of elements where it didn't before. The search field in the pack selection menu now selects properly when opening the screen with keyboard navigation. And there's a new splash text in this version. One does not simply walk to the Farlands. And of course this version also brings us a few pack changes. In Data Pack version 93.1, the Contents loot mode for the dynamic loot entry type has been added back. The Use Effects item component now has a boolean called Interact Vibrations, and you can now once again use items with item components without values without the game crashing. Fish buckets now have food property components by default. The default warning time for world borders in freshly created worlds is now back to 15 seconds rather than 15 ticks, and commands with certain specific arguments no longer crash the game. In Resource Pack version 74, there's a new screen texture for that new Nautilus inventory, and block models can now be rotated in more ways than before, adding rotations along multiple axes and allowing larger angle values. Beacons no longer support translucent textures. Textures used for still water and lava are now hard-coded to Minecraft::block/water_still and Minecraft::block/lava_still. Reloading your texture while the game is tick frozen no longer breaks animated textures. And that's all for this snapshot. Thank you for watching. One does not simply watch the video without liking. My name is Slime, and I'll see you next time.